Hey everybody, Frankie Tape It Back. All right, episode 2 of part 2, the bedroom number 2. Okay, this is episode 2. I just showed you how to rough in the seam here. Now I'm gonna rough in this corner. Okay, now I have my tape dispenser on the side of my pants here. And I know you can't see it because the phone screen is only so big. But I wanted you to be up close and personal here. Got a corner here, and then I have another seam here. But I'm gonna do the corner. I'm gonna get some mud on my hawk, and then we're gonna do the corner. And I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways, okay? I'm gonna show you the way a pro does it, as opposed to the way a guy that's just learning can do it. When you have patience, you'll be able to do it too. Hold on. Okay. Hawk, mud, 6-inch knife. I mix it on here. You hold the hawk as if like you're making pizza. Treat it like dough, right? Put the knife underneath like this and spin it, and then go over and wipe. Constantly mixing it so it doesn't get hard. Just like that. Always keep the mud. That's the way your mud should look on your hawk at all times. No matter what size hawk you got. You keep it like this. This is a 10-inch hawk. Why is it 10 inches? Because from here to here, it's 10 inches. That's how you measure. Okay, so now, what you can do with this corner, which I would do in the beginning, you take your knife, you put some mud, right? And you put some mud like that in the corner. All right? Just like this. And then you put some mud on the other side. Just like that. Just make sure you get enough mud in there and all the sheetrock's covered. Okay? Then you put your tape. And then I'll show you how to do that. Now, when you get more experience, you don't need all this mud on the outside. Right? You don't need that. All you need is this. That's all you need is mud in there because the tape is only 1 inch. So you don't need to mud up the whole seam and waste all that mud and time. But, you got a 6-inch knife, use the whole knife. Well, the way I side knifed these screw heads by going like this, I'm gonna do that to the corner. Takes some experience. But this way, if you use the whole knife, that's fine. As long as you get enough mud on there. Now I'm gonna show you how I side knife this. I take it, and I come up like that. Just like that. See how that looks? Okay, I wanna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna put the knife right here in the corner, and I'm just gonna go down slide knife. That's all. So it stops me from putting to mud up the whole seam and putting compound where I really don't need it. I'm gonna slide knife from the bottom up, making sure that there's enough mud on everything. If you miss a spot, just add some, that's all. Now, this mud, for some reason, the cover wasn't on completely, and the top of it got a little crusty, got a little dry. But you know what? The mud, filthy, dirty, whatever, for the first coat, for the rough coat, it's fine. You're wiping it all off. But on every preceding coat after that, the mud's got to be clean. It's got to stay clean, and the bucket has got to stay clean. Okay? I'll show you how to do that. They have a special tool, like in Home Depot and Lowe's, whatever, to clean the sides of your bucket. Complete ripoff. Complete waste of money. I'll show you a way to clean your bucket, clean with your knife you already have. You don't have to buy another tool to carry. That's from like homeowners that don't know what they're doing. Okay? But I am preventing that. I am showing you so you don't fall into that. So, I need a tool to clean the bucket. I need a tool to open the bucket. And then all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of tools and you're $50 in debt because you didn't need the stuff. But I'm gonna show you how to clean the bucket. And then I'll tell you how I learned how to clean the bucket. And it ain't pretty, okay? But I'll tell you the story after. Now, the seam is all mudded up. Now, I put the hawk down, or I drag over my baker. Right, drag over the baker. I put my hawk on there to hold it. You see, the baker's got these pegs on the end, and my hawk has got the hole in it. So it's easy just to leave it up there to hold while I'm doing this. So I'm grabbing the tape. Or you can put it on the floor. I mean, but I've been bending for a long time, so I'm lazy, you know, so I'm gonna use this. Okay. Take out a length. It's creased in the middle. Remember I showed you that on the other video? All right. Here's a crease in the middle. You fold that crease like that. You hold it just like this. And then you go down. Just like that. Just like that. Take a little more out, and you keep going. Now you have the crease. Now it'll fit right in the corner. Watch. Right in the corner like that. See that? See how that works? And I'm gonna just press it in. I'm gonna keep my 2 fingers or 3 fingers in the middle. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna press that crease seam right in the middle. All the way down to the bottom. Right to the bottom of the floor. Okay? Then, I'm gonna put the corner of my knife at the bottom of the tape on the floor, right? Well, not, you know, like an inch above the floor. And I'm gonna put this corner in there, right in the crease of the tape. I'm gonna pull the tape and it's gonna rip it. Okay, which you probably can't see, but that's all right. There, okay? Then, I just tuck it in. That's the seam, mudded up, and now it's taped up. I'll bring the camera over to show you. Right, that's the bottom. See that? It's all mudded up, and it's all taped, and the tape is pushed in there. Now, I'm gonna wipe it down. Okay? I'm gonna wipe it down now. This is the point where you gotta be really careful, because this is very sharp edge here. And while you're wiping, you have to hold the knife straight down as you're wiping the seam. If you go like this, and you put this corner in the crease, it's gonna rip the tape. And what good is it? Now you got a hole in it. You gotta take it off, you gotta put another piece. Or you gotta, you know, get a little piece of tape and you gotta fudge it in and fix it. So you don't have to cut the tape. It's very careful with the edges, with the corners, okay? Now, I was terrible at corners. I was terrible, the worst at it. And then the foreman on the job was also my father. Oh my gosh. Anyway, he made me do corners for like 9 months. He would tell the other tapers, do all the seams, do all the work, do everything, but leave out all the corners. And that's all I did all day, day after day, was the corners, the corners, the corners. And you know what happened? I got good at doing corners, right? Because just repetitive, kept doing it and doing it. And, you know, so that was, for me, it was a form of punishment, but it was also a learning thing. I was bad at it. I got punished, and that's all I did, and then I became good at it. So, I mean, it is what it is. So now I'm gonna wipe it down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe the top first, okay? Now, with the corner, you see the sheetrock, this wall goes in there. This side of the sheetrock, okay, goes in like this. It meets it, okay? That's the side you wipe first. If you wipe the side that goes underneath the opposite piece of sheetrock, you can have a tendency to push the tape into the crevice, okay? You're gonna create a gap. So what you have to do is you have to wipe this side, the sheetrock side that butts into the wall, just like that. Because now when you go to wipe it like this part, it can't recess the tape because the rock is hitting it. If you go and you wipe this side like this, your edge of your knife can push the tape into the corner, into the crease. So you always wipe the side that butts into the corner. That's the side you wipe first, okay? So I'm gonna wipe this here, like that, and then that's already wiped down. I just wiped it, now I'm gonna come down with it. Just like this. I'm gonna come all the way down, just like this. Gonna wipe the edge up, and that's all. Now, it might look a little sloppy because I'm trying to teach you something. And it really doesn't matter because I'm the taper, I'll fix it. But that's what you do. Then, you wipe the other side. And with the other side, don't push it into the corner. Just wipe it and keep your knife steady. Just come like this, just like that. And then come straight down. Straight down. Don't go like this and push that corner in, Okay, just wipe it straight like this. Straight down. Just like that. Now remember, as you get lower, you're gonna have a tendency to curve your knife like this into the corner. You gotta keep it going flat, straight down. That's what you gotta do. Okay? So, now we got that corner done. You're gonna turn, and we're gonna do this seam. Right there. See that? We're gonna do that seam. What are we gonna do? We're gonna mud it up. We're gonna mud up. You can either mud up from the top to the bottom. You can mud up from the bottom to the top. Whatever, you know. I don't have a problem doing bottoms because I'm very close to the floor. You know, because I'm so short. So I'll start at the bottom, and then I'll mud up like this. And then I'll come to the top, you know, a good height that's comfortable for me. And we'll do that, just like that. Okay? Just mudded it up. Now, there might be a couple of gaps in here. You can see I take the mud, boom, 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 boom. Hit it like that. I'll put my hawk down, get some tape. Put some tape right there. So make sure the crease in the middle of the tape matches the seam right up there. And then I put my knife like this as a guide on the seam. I come down very gently, making sure it stays in position, and it gets down to the bottom. I put the knife against the tape, and then I cut it, just like that. You know, I'm gonna grab the hawk, and then I'm gonna wipe it. I'll come down. I'm gonna wipe half of it. Then I'm gonna come up the middle. Go straight up the middle. Now, when you're coming up straight up the middle, if the mud is falling off or it's getting too much on your knife, take it, wipe it down, and then go right back. Simple as that. See? You wipe down your edges. You get all that excess mud off. And there you go. Everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna put my hawk down for a minute. I'm gonna show you just what we did here together, okay? I'm gonna show you. See behind me where we started, right by the window? Got the seam right there. We spotted some nails, and we did that seam, we did the corner, and we did that, then we did that seam. And then I spotted some more nails while we were taking a break. And what we're gonna do, here's another seam here. Let's go up to the air conditioner. And then we're gonna spot some nails and some other stuff. And then we're gonna come over here. And then, you know, there's more seams, there's a corner, another window in a corner, all the way around the room. And then once all the way around the room is done, all the bottoms, then what's gonna happen is we're gonna go on the baker, and then I'll go on the top, and I'll top everything off, except for the capping. That goes last. The capping is the angle or the corner that the wall meets the ceiling. That's the last thing you do. That's the last thing that gets roughed in this room. That brings the walls and ceiling together. So I'm gonna go around the room and keep doing all the flats and everything else like that. You can either watch. It's kind of hard to see until you're close up. Taping is something that's up close and personal. You got to get close to the wall. You know, you can't really do it from a distance. You got to be like right up there, seeing how I move the knife and stuff like that, and just taking it. My dad always told me one thing. He told me a lot of things, but this is something that always stuck. You can steal a trade with your eyes. You just watch somebody, watch how they move, watch how they handle the tools, and you can learn a lot. You can almost steal a trade with your eyes. You keep your mouth shut and your eyes open and your ears open, and you're surprised what you can learn. So you can steal a trade with your eyes by just watching me how I move. Now, practice makes perfect, Of course, you might drop some mud, you might be a little more sloppy, but that's okay. You'll get the general basics done. Roughing is the most important coat. If this does not go right, nothing will go right after it. All right, just like if you're laying brick, right? If you lay the first course is not level, everything after that is not going to be level. It's going to be a disaster. So everything has to be level and square right from the get-go if you're bricklaying. Taping is the same thing. If your rough is bad and you don't have enough mud behind the tape and you're missing things and your screws are out, then the second coat's going to be rougher. And the third coat's going to be bad. And the final coat's going to be a disaster. So this is the most time-consuming coat there is, the rough coat, because it sets the stage for everything to follow. So you take your time, you make sure the screws are in. If you got to screw them in, you can, either with a gun or by hand, depending on how bad they are, or take them out. So that's, just everything has to be good. Everything has to be fine. The ceiling, everything has to be roughed in good. And after that, then you can start setting up for your second coat. But the rough coat is very, very important. You want to make sure you take the time. And the biggest problem people have, the number one problem, they don't put enough mud behind the tape. They're either afraid to use the compound or they're afraid they can use too much. Look, you put too much on there, you take it off. All right, this ain't rocket science here. We're not performing brain surgery on people. I mean, this is really simple, okay? And it's very repetitive. The more you do it, the better you get. I mean, if you the more you do it, the worse you get. You pick another trade. But this is just the way it is. So it's always the same. The way we did those seams in the background is the way I'm going to do these here. Nothing changes. It's the same thing. You just make sure you put plenty of mud. You're going to squeegee it out anyway. So you just got to make sure. If you don't, you're going to get a bubble. If you get a bubble, then you have to take your knife. You got to cut it. You got to open it up, stuff it with mud, skim it, and you're fine. So you can fix it. You don't have to take it off. Okay? We don't have time to take it off. Taping is money, time. The more time you spend, the less you're making. You gotta hit them with a price. You gotta keep on going. So you can't afford to go and just, I'll take it all off and redo it again. Hey, what are you gonna do? You gonna charge them a second time? No, they're gonna get fired. So you gotta make sure you can fix things on the fly. But instead of that, do everything right the first time. You do everything right the first time, everything is going to go smooth. If the first coat is good, you do everything right, do everything good, everything after that is going to go smooth. This is a matter of time, compound, widening everything, filling everything, and then sanding everything smooth, skimming, and then everything will be just beautiful. Just like the other rooms that we did, they came out beautiful. They're already furnished. They're terrific. But you got to take your time, especially on this coat. It's very, very important. So you make sure your screws are in. Now, this is a little bit different on this one here. There's screws and this thing sticking out of the wall like nails and stuff that he hung pictures on. He doesn't want me to cover them up. So I have to work around like those little curtain rod hardware things for the curtain rods. So I have to actually kind of work around them because, he doesn't want to do them, take them off and do them again, and forget where we put them, All right. I'm helping him out. So it's a little bit of a pain, but no big deal. That's a request. Can you leave everything the way it is? I'm like, yeah, all right. I'll do it. So that's what we do. So I'm going to sign off now here. I'm going to do a few more seams because I'll never get out of here if I show you the whole thing. So I'm going to come back, show you a little bit more. But basically, this is it. Flat seam in the corner. That's all that's in the room. Seams in corners. There's nothing else. There's no angles in here. It's a flat ceiling, 4 corners in a room, ceiling angle and flats, and and some cut seams. Not really any butt joints in here. Well, there's a couple. There's 3 in here. So when I'm up on the scaffold, then I'll show you the difference of the 2 boards that are cut pieces together. I already showed you the recess boards, the factory edge boards. Those are easy because the tape is in the recess. So a nice skin job. It doesn't require a lot of mud. Everything is good. But the pieces that are cut pieces, they require a lot of mud and they got to require very wide. So we already went over that, but you'll see it live. So for now, I'm going to sign off. This is episode 2. Frank the Taper here, live. And this is gonna be really good, showing you everything. It's excited. I hope you can see it. I don't have a cameraman here to kind of get close-ups as I'm working, but I might try to do that. Get my son over here to help me out, you know, pull him away from the golf course, and then that way we can get a little more detail in there, because this stuff you gotta know. Enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you learned anything, great. If you're entertained, even better. So this is Frank the Taper signing off. I'll be back for episode 3 and show you a little bit more. Thanks for watching. There's something wrong with this button here.